Welcome traders. Today is Friday, October 5th, and I wanted to go over some of the changes that I just had completed today on the new ZoneTrader Pro order flow indicator. Before I start though, I'd like to remind you to go to the ZoneTrader Pro blog and put in your email and name and subscribe here so that you are made aware of when I make a blog post and update the software. I've made some significant changes to how the indicator alerts are developed, and what I've done here is I have created what I call the bar tick filter. So with a bar tick filter set to 4, you will not receive any audio alerts until there has been at least 4 price levels having been completed in the current bar. You also see that I've created custom alert files for those alerts, and you can download the zip file containing those and the instructions on what to do with those on the ZoneTrader Pro blog. So for now, what I've done is I don't want to hear any audio alerts until I have at least 4 ticks of the bar having been completed. One of the other changes that I made is that I created a point of control, absorption, and extension audio alert that focuses on being an early warning. So this will require you to put in again a certain number of ticks before receiving an audio alert for the POC extension or POC absorption trades. So basically it would work like this. On this POC absorption and extension buy, if you had the number set to 4, as price traded off the bottom and traded to 28.80, you would receive that alert. Also in real time, you would be seeing the text signal down here, and if you wanted to jump the signal before the signal having been completed, that is the purpose of that audio alert. The next change you see made to the script is the inclusion of 2 new signals called the exhaustion and the delta change. Up here at this top up here, we see both the exhaustion and the delta change coming in, and the exhaustion is an extremely powerful signal that calls a top or a bottom. The delta sell signal represents that the delta had been falling over these past several bars here, and is just another indicator to tell you that as price rose, the demand was falling. And as you can see, that's led to an eventual 10-point sell-off here on Friday in about 15 minutes. Here's the start of that sell-off on a 3-range chart. Now on a 3-range chart, I am keeping the signals down to an absolute minimum. I want to see the exhaustion, I want to see the order flow signal, and I also have the delta buy signal engaged along with the delta strength signal. So at the top up here, when you were receiving the other signals on the 5-range chart, here you received probably 3 of the most powerful signals that can be generated, and that is the high volume combined with the exhaustion combined with the ZTP order flow. And we would notice that that all occurs at a previous resistance level of 28.8675. And as I've said in the past, when an extension zone is created, that is not necessarily the reason for an entry, but it supports your entry when you have the signals here that have been developed. One of the last changes that I made to the order flow script was that I created down here what is called minimum contracts, and there already was a minimum delta. The difference between the two is that if we have only a very small number of contracts trading in an illiquid market, you would want these numbers to be low, as you see in here. For the ES market, we would probably want a slightly higher number of anywhere from 25 or 50 in that, and a similar number in the minimum delta. Setting the extension zones imbalance at 399 gives you a 4-to-1 ratio. So we would go ahead and set those same numbers here also, hit apply, and OK. The one argument against using those numbers and leaving them low is that when the book gets swept here with just a very large market order, these will not show up then as extension zones. I'd like to point out though, on this bar, we did note that we had extremely low volume, and low volume is on an up bar is a sign that we are approaching a sell-off, which on the very next bar we created an extension and absorption zone along with additional extension zones and an exhaustion sell over here. So that's kind of the way that you would look at whether or not you'd want to use this. Do you want to see when the order book is swept, or do you only want to see when you have a bigger fight going on between the bulls and the bears, as is occurring over here? Thank you for taking the time to watch this video on the update of the ZoneTrader Pro order flow indicator, and if you have any questions, be sure to give me a call.